Are you ready for the financial roller coaster that's likely to happen this week? CPI is coming out. That's the inflation figures from America, and it affects the global economy. It doesn't just affect America. We could see a turning point. The market's been confused by the figures that have come out on employment. There's been massive rise in jobs, and it was expected that there was going to be a fall off. Obviously, interest rates have gone up super high in America, Europe, and indeed in the UK. Is there more to follow? It's expected that the Fed's going to raise interest rates, potentially 0.5% or even 0.75. Markets expecting that sort of increase. Of course, if the inflation rates were to come down, then you'd be in a great situation and the markets would actually go up. Of course, we have the reverse. If we see a situation where inflation figures on Wednesday come out and they're higher than expected, then of course the market won't like it. And of course, then you can see exactly the opposite and the markets could fall. It could be a roller coaster. Always better to be diversified. And we don't just have the inflation figures coming out this week. Banks are starting to report. That's significant as well. Why? Because they reflect what's really happening right now in the economy. In other words, if you see debts increasing, if you see that companies are struggling by the bank's figures, then that gives you a gauge again to the economy. Don't forget, there's so many different countries that are fixed to the dollar. So again, a currency is affected. If the rates of interest go higher, then the dollar potentially goes higher. That, of course, means that interest rates potentially in those countries linked to the dollar, they have to rise. Dollar strengthens. That's not good for commodity prices and inflation, because so strangely, you get higher inflation, you get higher interest rates, you get higher dollar, and guess what? You get inflation. And that's why I think we could be in time to see some good news. So let's finish with some positivity. Positivity would be if the inflation figures come out less than expected, the inflation cooling, and still the jobs are being created. That would be super positive for the market. It would also see the dollar start to fall, which of course again means that inflation is reduced. It's a bit complex. Give me a follow and I'll keep you up to date. But right now, it's going to be a key week for the markets. Wednesdays, when the CPI comes out, you'll see on my YouTube channel and indeed on my other social media, I'll be keeping you up to date with what's happening. Right now, we look in a strong market. We look in a bull market where there's going to be good returns. Obviously, there can be volatility. Summer particularly, there tends to be. But I'm optimistic and I see that even if there is some volatility, we're going to end up this year with a strong economy globally that can see some great returns for investors. Make sure you subscribe. Please like and share the video so I can get out information to you every day on what's happening in the markets and what you need to do to make sure your money is growing to the maximum.